Welcome to a battlefield of minds. Two grandmasters face off where every move cuts like a sword. One mistake, and it's over. This isn't just chess. It's war disguised as strategy. Let's dive in, move by move, into this epic clash. Buenaventura Villamayor opens with d4, a bold drum beat in the middle of the board. His pawn marches like a soldier planting a flag on enemy soil. Wesley So answers coolly with nf6, sending out his knight as a silent assassin, eyes locked on that center pawn like a predator watching prey. White develops calmly with nf3, bringing out his own knight to stand shoulder to shoulder, two generals now eyeing each other across the field. Wesley strikes with e6, building his fortress brick by brick, ready to unleash chaos once the walls are set. Villamayor goes bg5, swinging his bishop out like a sniper, taking aim at that poor knight on f6. Pressure is rising already. Wesley fires back with c5, a counterattack on the heart of the board. He's not here to defend, he's here to destroy. White calmly replies e3, reinforcing the center line. His pawns form a solid wall, a calm before the storm. Black expands with b6, prepping his dark bishop, like loading an arrow coated with venom. Villamayor goes d5, the first cannon blast. His pawn storms forward, striking into black territory with reckless confidence. Wesley responds h6, shoving that bishop back. Hey, sniper, step away from my knight. He seems to growl. White trades without hesitation. bxf6. Boom! Boom! The bishop crashes into the knight, taking one of black's frontline heroes. Wesley instantly recaptures qxf6, his queen swooping in like a vengeful empress, reclaiming the fallen ground. Villamayor develops nc3, reinforcing control of d5. His knights now form a deadly pair, ready to leap at any weakness. Wesley calmly develops bb7. The bishop takes aim along that long diagonal, like a sniper crouching in the dark corner of the board. White slides bc4, drawing lines toward the king's side, as if preparing a surgical strike on the black monarch. Black pushes a6, staking ground on the queen's flank. Small step, big intention. Villamayor mirrors with f4, like saying, you push one, I push one, let's see who blinks first. Nya. Wesley takes the fight to the middle. Zix, stacking up defenses as if bracing for an earthquake. White plays qd3, queen entering the fray. An elegant but dangerous move. One misstep, and she'll be hunted. Wesley strikes back with f5. Boom! The center explodes. His pawn smashes forward, declaring all-out war. Villamayor goes a5, expanding on the wing, his pawn like a spear thrown deep into enemy lines. This marks the end of the opening. The tension is ready to snap. Wesley calmly repositions with qd8, pulling his queen back to safety, but she's not retreating, she's lurking. White captures boldly axe b, sacrificing structure for chaos. like a general blowing up a bridge to trap his foe. Wesley instantly takes back QXB. QXB6. Queen glides forward again, sparkling with dark power. She's hungry. Villamayor brings Ra3. A creative lift. Rook climbing up the ladder, maybe dreaming of storming the 7th rank. Wesley develops B7, solid and subtle. His bishop steps out, guarding his king's flank like a loyal knight. White castles. Oh. Finally, the king takes cover behind the fortress walls, the calm before another storm. Wesley mirrors. Oh. Now both kings are tucked in, both armies fully armed. There's no turning back. Villamayor doubles up with R4, a neat connection of rooks, 2 cannons now aligned on the same rail, ready to roar. Wesley replies B8, pulling his bishop back as if reloading, quietly sharpening his aim. White shoves E4, striking at the heart again, an explosive move that screams, "Let's fight." Nesta nentrons, inetai, and Wesley slides kite, king sidestepping like a boxer avoiding a right hook, better safe than mated. Villamayor goes RB3, rook sliding left, like a tank maneuvering for a better shot. Wesley fires back with QC7, his queen lining up behind her troops, whispering, "Time to counter." White continues pressure. QE2, queen joining forces with rook and bishop. The battlefield now glows with tension. Wesley launches the break. 5. A savage thrust forward. The Black Army begins its advance. We're officially entering the mid-game. No more subtlety, only blood and steel from here on out. Villamayor captures x5. Pawn meets pawn. The first explosion in the center, dust flying as white claims the battlefield's heart. Wesley counters instantly with BSF5. His bishop swoops in like a blade, slicing the pawn clean. You take one, I take one. He growls silently. White responds n4, knight jumping into the fray like a fearless commando, daring anyone to come closer. Wesley pushes n7, calling in reinforcements. His knights now guard each other like twin dragons coiling in defense. Villamayor's knights aren't impressed. FDT2, pulling back for a better springboard, a tactical pause before the next charge. Wesley rolls out NB6, his dark knight prowling on the queen's side, fangs ready to strike at B3. White's rooks are restless, R3, stacking up firepower again as if saying, "I've got 2 cannons, let's see if you can dodge both." Wesley responds A5, pushing the frontier. His pawn advances like a slow-moving tank, unstoppable, merciless. Villamayor keeps pressing. B3, sealing off the flank, trying to cage that pawn like a beast behind bars. Wesley's dark bishop joins the battle. B7, sliding into position, a silent executioner preparing the final blow. White lifts the rook again. R3-2, juggling steel and fire. He's trying to keep everything alive, but the board feels suffocating. Wesley develops smoothly. bf6, the bishop now menacing the white king's wing. The pressure is suffocating. Villamayor brings in ra3. Same rook, same dream. He refuses to give up that vertical line. Wesley slides b7, playing the waiting game. He's tightening the noose one move at a time. White doubles rooks again. Ronietu. Every rook movement a desperate gasp for air in a burning fortress. Wesley's counterstrike begins. Begite. His bishop retreats only to prepare a wider kill zone, elegant and deadly. Villamayor fires back. nc3. His knight finally reawakens, stretching its legs like a soldier shaking off dust before the charge. Wesley whispers bg5, shadowing the board like a silent assassin. He's watching every line, every slip. White's pawn goes forward. Raun. No more fancy tricks, just raw defense, but the tension keeps climbing. Wesley punches back. Afua breaking open the flank, his pawn crashes through like a battering ram. Villamayor retreats the knight. nd4, but his army's coordination is starting to crumble. Smoke rises from the board. Wesley slams xb3, finally breaking through. A brutal capture that rips open the queenside gates. White recaptures arc8, desperate trade to simplify the madness. His rook screaming as it takes down the invader. Wesley calmly returns arc8, restoring balance. Black's attack remains sharp, but now his pieces breathe freer than ever. Villamayor sacrifices a knight with nxe5, trying to strike before being strangled, a wild heroic gesture. Wesley says, "Thank you very much," and plays bxe2. His pawn transforms into a monster, one square away from glory. White's queen counters, qxe2, slicing that pawn down before it can become a queen, a brief sigh of relief. Wesley responds, hxd5, casually capturing back. One more white knight gone, one more dream buried. Villamayor rallies with qg6, his queen flashing like lightning, searching for a miracle check. Wesley calmly steps bf7. His bishop shields everything. The black fortress stands tall amid the chaos. White still fights. qxe5, grabbing the hanging pawn. The queen tastes blood, but it might be a trap. Wesley plays k8. His king finally joins the dance, stepping out into the storm with perfect timing. Villamayor brings his bishop, bd3, trying to rebuild the attack, though his forces are scattered and tired. Wesley slides nb6, a knight shift that seals the board. Black's coordination now feels unbreakable. White calmly centralizes, before trying to guard to hope, but the storm clouds are turning blacker. Wesley marches fight, king stepping forward like a warlord entering the front line. And just like that, we transition into the endgame phase, where every pawn is a potential bomb, and every move could be the last breath. Villamayor keeps his queen active with g3, as if trying to breathe in a burning room. Every move now feels like borrowed time. Wesley sharpens his blade with q7, the queen sliding into position like a silent executioner, eyes locked on the white king. White brings cocoon, desperate to regroup, the queen circling back like a commander rallying retreating troops. Wesley coolly answers n7, knight circling like vultures. The smell of checkmate is getting thick. Villamayor plays QB2, looking for counterplay on the queen side, but it's like throwing pebbles at a tank. Wesley strikes with QD8, tightening the net, the dark queen gliding like a spider over invisible silk. White keeps shuffling, QB7 pretending to counterattack, but we all know he's just buying seconds. Wesley replies NF6, knight back into the fray, sniffing out weaknesses like a bloodhound on the trail. Villamayor switches gears. BF3, a quiet move with desperate hope, guarding his fragile king's side. Wesley breaks silence. G6, the pawn march that says, no mercy, no escape. White queen dives to K7, grasping for counterchances. One last dance before the fall. Wesley coldly plays Q7, like resetting a trap. Every piece in Black's army moves with lethal precision. Villamayor fires K8, a check born from sheer stubbornness. I'm not done yet. He shouts into the void. Wesley answers, KG7, the king sidestepping effortlessly, as if yawning through the danger. White jumps in with Nefor. One last heroic knight move, sword raised high though the castle burns behind him. Wesley finally reveals his hand, BX5. His bishop crashes through the defenses, snapping that pawn like a twig. Villamayor strikes back NXF6, at least taking one trophy before the end, a proud punch even as the walls collapse. Wesley calmly recaptures BXF3, slicing through White's defenses once more. This battlefield belongs to him now. White fights on with Nh, a desperate knight jab, the kind that says, if I'm going down, I'm taking a piece of you. Me. Wesley brushes it off with K7, dodging the blow like a master duelist who's seen it all before. Villamayor tries NSD6, stealing a pawn, small consolation, but still a flicker of rebellion. Wesley retaliates FR, a deadly pawn thrust that pierces the board like a final dagger. White repositions NC4, the knight wobbling into place, as if trying to block a flood with bare hands. Wesley smirks and plays K7, his queen ready to deliver judgment, every square now under Black's shadow. Villamayor fires back QC2, but the tone's gone. This is no longer a duel, it's survival mode. Wesley answers Q86, tightening the net one last time. Even the air seems to freeze. White trades queens with Q6, trying to ease the pressure, a white flag disguised as a capture. Wesley accepts the offering, QSD6, no hesitation, no emotion, business as usual. Villamayor plays NXE6, recapturing the queen, but now his knight stands alone against an army. Wesley advances KK6, his king calmly walking into enemy territory like a ruler inspecting conquered land. White tries Kefone, scrambling to regroup, but the map is already painted black. Wesley steps Kg5, the Black King hunting now, the predator has left the throne. Villamayor resists with Kioni, but his voice trembles. Every square screams, no escape. Onmen, Wentol, Israel, Ilje. Wesley's march continues. KJ4, eyes locked on the trembling white pawns. White answers KD2-2, dragging his king closer to the carnage, maybe hoping for a miracle among corpses. Wesley plays H3, quietly, almost kindly, the final position of a man who knows he's already won. White still breathes. NB7, a hopeless shuffle, like a soldier crawling through smoke. Wesley ends it with E3 Eki, a thunderous advance. The pawn becomes the executioner's blade, slicing through White's last defense, and Buenaventura Villamayor resigns. 0 win Petsen, pitching win Nistrajan. Wesley So claims victory with icy precision, leaving the board silent, save for the echo of steel and genius. The video ends here. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Thank you again, everyone. See you in the next video.